Sweet, we are live. Okay, hey guys, I'm Barv and welcome to episode 3 of Creators Campfire. If you are new here, then this is a live streamed podcast where I will interview all sorts of creative people, so entrepreneurs, content creators, side hustlers, and general aspiring talent to find out more about what they do, why they do it, and how they do it. So tonight we have, I'm a little bit excited, we have a future superstar in our midst, guys. Please welcome, and I'm going to work this out properly. Please welcome Tequisha.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. Thank you for being here. This is very cool. We actually have viewers, so that's lovely.
Great.
If you're here, drop us a comment, say hi. And as we go through, if you do have any questions, just put them up, whether you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, drop them in the comments box. They should come through and we'll try and drop them in as we go. Otherwise, I can't see who is here. So, Tequisha, I'm going to hand over to you. Why don't you introduce yourself and let people know who you are and what you do?
Okay, thank you for having me. This is one of my first times going live on anything. My name's Tequisha. I'm a music artist from London, and yeah, I make music, I write music, I release music. Happy to be here.
Awesome. That's what we like to hear. So we'll kind of talk about Tequisha's journey from right at the beginning. So when she kind of realized that she wanted to be an artist, and we'll kind of take you on that journey, the things that she's done, the things that she would have liked to have maybe known when she was going through that. And if there is anybody else that is also wanting to follow in those footsteps, then hopefully we can bring some value. And if you're coming to the same crossroads or into the same issues or problems or areas, then hopefully we can help you tonight.
I hope.
I hope so. We can do it. We will bring some value to everybody who's listening. So let's rewind a bit. Did you always know you wanted to be a singer?
No. Yes and no. I think I had the cliche, when you're little or when you're growing up, I kind of always would gravitate towards music. I loved listening to music, singing. I'm not good at dancing, but I loved dancing as well. My mum said when I think I was 3 or 4, I used to watch The Little Mermaid on repeat and just sing the whole thing over and over. But I think it was when I was kind of 14, 15 that I really realized it was something that I had a passion for and something that I wanted to get into as a profession, but I wasn't really sure how you would kind of go about that.
Yeah. So that's quite late for some people. Some people might say that's quite late, right? Some people kind of start off, and by the age, at their time they're 3, they're like, no, I definitely want to be a singer. So did you have other kind of aspirations during that time, or did you just not know quite what you wanted to do, but it was entertainment?
I think I was I've always been very academically based. So I think for me, grades and school were very important. My mum used to take me to Cambridge University when I was younger, go around the grounds and walk around Cambridge. And I could see my life going down 2 paths. It was either maybe English and literature, language, or something more creative. I was always into drama at school, doing those kind of things. But again, I think I was always torn in my head as to whether I could actually have a profession from music, or I think I had the opinion that English might be the more stable kind of route to take, which actually is not the case. So I'm glad I know that now. So yeah, I think I was a bit more academic, still creative, but I was leaning towards that.
Yeah, I guess there is that whole stability and things, and when you're growing up, it's hang on, what's the safe path?
Exactly.
What can I do, and actually can I make a career out of this? So fast forward, you're 14, 15, you know that you want to get into music. Firstly, how does that go down in the house? We all happy? Because some people struggle.
It's such a weird story, because like I said, I was really academic. I was kind of looking more towards Cambridge or somewhere to study English, and it was kind of like role reversal. I was 16, 17 in between that, and both my parents kind of sat me down And when it came to talking about university, they were like, so, you know, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And I told them, I think I'm going to go and do English. And my mum was like, absolutely not. And I kind of sat like, what are you talking about? My mum's Indian Spanish. So grades were, you know, a big thing in our household.
I get it.
She was also like encouraging creativity always, but I don't know what I thought, but we kind of argued about it. And it was like, I felt like I was the adult and my parents were telling me, you need to go and follow your passion. You need to follow your dreams. You have one life, you need to try. And if it doesn't work out, then, you know, you try something else, but you need to try it. So it went down well in the household, but not how I expected it to go.
Yeah, no, that's pretty awesome though, to have that support and to be told, actually, you know, you can go and do what you want to do. Yeah. Okay, so you're 14 to 17, you've kind of realized this is what you want to do. Your parents have guided you down this route. Are you possibly thinking that it's a bit late? And how do you then go about going, how do I go and do this then?
I think because I'd always been doing music, you know, I played a bit of guitar, a bit of piano. I kind of was learning as I was going along. So I still had music there. It wasn't too late because it kind of had always been there. So when I got to that age, it was kind of the perfect time to either go for it or not and kind of stick to it and commit to it a bit more. So it was the right time. When I was like 17, 18, it was a good time.
And you've just touched on it there, I guess. So the guitar, the piano, do you think that A is necessary and B helped you?
I think whichever instrument you kind of feel the most comfortable with. I always say it's like Harry Potter and wands. It's kind of like for every person it's different. You know, my friend loves piano, but for me, guitar has always been my first love. So I kind of was more towards that. And when I picked it up, it's like something just happened and I was like, this is for me. This is my instrument. So I think it's not necessary, but it definitely helps and it kind of stimulates. You know, that's how I started writing, by picking up a guitar when I was 14, 15 and just playing it how I wanted to play it and trying it out. So I think it does help creativity, but it's not necessarily something you have to have.
Yeah. I love that you dropped Harry Potter.
But don't you think it's so true?
That's amazing. I love that. And yes, I agree. You kind of just know when there's a connection. Okay, so you know that this is what you're going to do. How do you actually become a musician? Because I guess, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't actually know how old you are. But I'm guessing this isn't quite the social media age that it potentially is now. Although I'm guessing it's around, clearly wasn't that long ago. But how do you A, know that it's something you can pursue, and B, actually physically, you know, get into it? Do you just write a song and how does that work? I think
that was, for me, that was kind of the hardest part to come to terms with. It was like, okay, I have this dream. I have this idea of how I want my life to go. How do you do it? So for me, my mum was kind of the biggest help. And I will always say that when it came down to this, because, you know, universities at that time, I think I'm 23 now. So universities had only just kind of started taking music seriously, or there were, you know, adverts for music unis and things that weren't really around before. There weren't a lot of options, but there were options there. And she took me to every single music uni for open day to try and encourage me that was kind of an option or an opportunity. And I ended up going to be in Brighton one day for an open day with her. And, you know, I wasn't sold yet. I was like, I don't know, I love this, but is this the route for me? And we kind of sat, and at the end of the kind of display or show, they had a band that had graduated play. They were called the Dewberries. I don't know if they're still together anymore, but they were really cool. And I remember listening to them and watching them play on stage. And I just had this moment of awe that, you know, people who are only 2-3 years older than me could sound like that as a group and know so much about the room and the stage and sound. And I kind of just had a moment of like, Mum, I need to go to this uni, I need to be here. If that's how they sound when they come out, then I have to be here and I have to reach that level when I'm done.
That's a pretty cool story, actually. I quite like that. It's like it's all just fell into place. Yeah, so that's great. It's a great story. Shout out to your mum, who I'm sure is
honestly,
listening.
Mum, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so cool. So you go to Brian and you realize actually music is a career. And how does music school work? Is that
nothing like you expect? Okay. Absolutely nothing. So, you know, you kind of watch Glee and you have this idea, or High School Musical, and it's actually nothing like that. It's a lot more kind of practical. I think the one misinterpretation of the music industry is that you know, everyone wants to be a pop star, and you go to this uni, you sing, you get a record deal, you come out and and it does not work like that. You're going to learn about music business, about production, about the behind the scenes, how to perform on stage, how to engage with an audience. And I think some of the classes were a bit outdated and didn't feel like they were that helpful, but I really don't think I would be where I am today if I hadn't been and learned the things that I had learned. You know, like music business, I didn't even know that was a thing before going to the uni, but it's actually been the most important thing in my career to date as a female in the industry.
Okay, yeah, when you said it, that did sound it sounded weird, but actually it sounded quite sensible as you said it, because actually that's something you probably need to know going into this industry.
Definitely.
So you would recommend, if people are looking into that, it's obviously not the only path, but it's definitely a good
I think if you are in the position that I was in, where you aren't 100% sold yet on yourself, whether that's self-belief or kind of knowing what you want to do, then taking a leap and going to a school like that where you're educated on the different sides of the industry and how vast it actually is, and going from basics to next level of learning how things work, I can't think of anything better really than learning like that. I mean, some of my friends, they are doing it without having gone to uni, but I think I was such a learner, I needed to go and figure out the kind of cogs of how things work, and it helped me a lot.
Yeah, that was your path, that was your way of getting. Yeah, okay. So you've got your degree, you come out, you sound like the Dubreys. I mean, I like it. Graduated. Yeah. What's next? So now you're in the big wide world. I guess it's the same as someone graduating from uni and walking into the scary world and trying to find a job. How does that work then?
So I think it was kind of in my second year of uni that I was like, okay, I can either drop out and try something else, or I can carry on with this. But if I carry on, then I need to commit 100%. All of my time, all of my energy will go into this, and I just go for it and try and pursue this dream. And in second year, there were a lot of networking events in London. I was studying in Brighton, so it's just an hour train. But there were so many networking events, and my music teacher had one of our music teachers, actually music business, which is, there you go, important. Yeah. He said, go to the networking events and see if you meet people, try and meet producers, collab with people. The music industry is all about collaboration, and it really is. And in my second year, I went to one of these networking events, and I kept going with, it's my friend Saskia. I don't know if she's watching or not, but she came as well.
Hello, Saskia, if you're watching.
Yeah, hi, if you're watching. And we just kind of tried to network. You know, it was like terrifying going into this room of musicians, and they all know about theory or production, and I'm this young, like fresher, just trying to figure out everything. But spoke to some people, met some cool producers there, and ended up working with a couple of people. And I think I just kind of planned it from there. I started working on my project and writing for other people, and, you know, just kind of pursued that. And by the end of my third year, when I had my degree, I was like, okay, I now have a network in London to work with. I can move there, find something to earn money whilst I'm doing it, and pursue music as well. And that's kind of what I did.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I guess it's still a bit of a risk, I guess, moving, but actually you've got this network that you know you're going into it, so it's a bit safer to kind of take that leap. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So actually, so during the second year, you're still not 100% convinced at this point.
Oh my God, I think I'm still not convinced now, ever.
Okay.
I'm just, sometimes I have moments where I call my friends and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I doing music? It's so turbulent. I want to do something else. And then they're like, no, you don't. And I'm like, no, I don't, you know? Well, I think everyone has those moments.
Yes. Yeah. I guess it's just a bit of fear. It's just a bit of...
It's fear, and it's kind of like, I always say with this, it's not like a career where you work for a company and you're like, okay, in 5 years, if I do X, Y, Z, I can be promoted to A or B. You know, it's not like that. It's kind of, there's no same route for anyone. Everything is different. Everyone has a different path, different network, different people, different place in the industry. And I think that's the kind of terrifying thing about it. But it's also exciting because it's like, where do I fit? Where does my sound fit? What opportunities do I have that someone else might not? Or what opportunities do I have that someone else does and we collab, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay, so looking back, is there a piece of advice that you would give to yourself, knowing what you know now, for you starting out?
I think, okay, there's two things. So the first would be, don't let it intimidate you, because it's scary. And like any industry, it can be terrifying. It can be huge when you look at it. But if you have a dream and you're willing to learn and you're willing to work for something, then it's worth pursuing. And the second would be, don't take people's opinions as a gospel, because I think in music, there's always someone with an opinion, or someone that doesn't like a lyric, or someone that doesn't like a note or something. And I think, you know, you can take criticism and you can take feedback and adapt and change things. But at the end of the day, if you love your sound and you love how something is and you believe in it, then that's all you need.
Yeah, actually, I think those two things are good life advice, to be honest. I think that applies to everything. I actually like that. Follow your passion and take the criticism, but you know something, you do you. At the end of the day, that's what matters.
Exactly. My mum always says that. That's my mum's line. You do you, babe. She's always like, you do you, babe.
I can hear it right now. Maybe that's where I got it from.
I mean, that's why I said it. I think you did, you know. That's the tagline.
She's contagious, that one.
Honestly.
Yeah, no, I like it. Okay, how does someone physically release a song now? So,
oh my God.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. How did you release your first single?
I mean, can you tell me? Because no. So
yeah, you get TikTok. That's what I hear.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Releasing is not as, I mean, I wish it was just make a song and put it out, but unfortunately, it's really not like that. So it's kind of, you create the song and then you have many different routes. You can either sign the song with a label if they like it, but then, you know, there's percentage and things that you have to think about. They're going to take a percentage, which means you lose some of the track. Sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. You can sign a distribution deal. So a distributor will release your track for you on your profiles, and they take 30% usually, I think, give or take, and they'll put the song out for you and they'll pitch it to playlists and things like that and do it that way. Or you can just upload your song to platforms like AWOL, Ditto Music, and distribute it yourself. And I think you pay a set fee, I think it's like £10-15 or something, and you put your song on that. So there's many different ways to do it.
Okay. We've got some people commenting. Hi, Nick. Nice to see you here. And Sophie just wants to say it's very inspiring, and she agrees. Go for your dream.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we love it. Okay, so that's, yeah, okay. There are lots of different ways to get something out there.
Yeah.
Do you wish that you had the social media outlets that there are today kind of 3-4 years ago, or is it not actually? How big of an influence does social media play, I guess, these days?
I think there's mixed opinions. So social media obviously has a huge impact because it's allowing you and aiding you to kind of reach an audience that you might not have been able to prior to having that platform. But I don't think that it's the most integral part of things. I think, you know, we have streaming platforms now like Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Deezer, like all these platforms to release music. So I think it does have an impact on how far your music spreads, and it can obviously help, but I don't think it's the most important thing. I mean, I probably say that because I'm not the biggest fan of Instagram or TikTok, or, you know, my friends are always like, oh, you need to post, or some of my team are like, you haven't done a TikTok, and I'm like, I'm not gonna. Like, I'm working on it, you know. So I think I need to adapt to that a bit more. I do think it helps, but I don't think it's the most important.
Yeah. Okay, no, that makes sense. Your mother would like to tell you that she's also here. I've clearly missed her. We've already shouted you out. There you go. See?
You do you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just subliminally messaging us all. Just like
I can't see. Oh, you can click on live comments.
There you go.
Ah, okay. Great.
Can you type in the box? All right. She's claiming you. It's okay, Claude. I wasn't trying to claim her. We were just giving you a shout out. I love it. How proud your mum is of you. That's amazing.
Oh, she's my rock, honestly.
She's a good one, that one. Can you comment back? If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the box.
It doesn't let me type anything.
Okay. All right. Okay. We'll just carry on then. Okay. So where was I going with this? Yes, growing up and not just growing up, but recently, some of your biggest inspirations, both musically and potentially non-musically.
Musically, I think I grew up on a lot of different music. I think I'm lucky with my parents because they've given me such an eclectic taste in music. My mum would have, you know, like Nora Jones, Frank Sinatra, jazz playing in the house, also Hindi music because she's Indian.
Shout out to Hindi music.
Yeah, there you go. And my dad would be kind of more Motown. There would be, you know, he'd play Prince as well, Earth, Wind and Fire, some French garage, different things. So I kind of loved everything. I think Nora Jones for me was someone that really, her voice just captivated me. And I was like, if I can ever make someone feel this way listening to my music, then I've achieved, you know, my life goal. Writing, I think Chris Martin. I just love the way he writes, and I love Coldplay. You know, some people hate Coldplay, but whatever. I love Coldplay, and I always have, and I always will. Yeah, I think Chris Martin, and then the influences from when I was younger, they've been so important on my sound.
That's quite cool. So actually, one more something. So you write your own music? Is that?
Yes, I do.
That's okay. Firstly, I am like in awe of anyone who can write. Who can write their own song. Just songs blows me away. I think it's amazing. So you write your own music and you write your own songs, correct?
Yes. So I write. I also collab. I write, co-produce. I've started doing so when you have a song, you kind of get it mixed, so all the levels and frequencies to be, you know, leveled out. I've started helping with the mixes as well, and I'm always present for the master. So trying to learn everything and just take on everything a little bit.
Well, there's no harm in learning it, right? It's easier when someone's doing it the other side as well. Is singing still your favorite, or songwriting, or another part of the process?
I think I love singing, but my favorite part of the process is probably when you have no idea for a song and you go into the studio with a producer, maybe a couple of musicians. This is how we wrote the Givin Up with Petanavir, and you just kind of all talk about how you're feeling that day or what's going on in your life, and then at the end of the day you just have this track that you didn't exist from the beginning, you know, and you've all collabed, you've all played, you've all helped produce it. I think that's the best part. That's crazy when something like that happens. That's my favorite part of the whole process, I think.
That does sound pretty cool. So you go in the morning, and then at the end of the day, you've actually got a full-fledged
You
track.
go in the morning with nothing, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
is there going to be a hit or a miss? And then if it's a hit, you're like, whoa, where did that come from? I didn't know I was feeling this way. You know, where did that guitar come from? It's really, really a cool feeling.
That's pretty cool. And how many people does it take to put a track together? I guess it could be anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. So for me, I always work with a producer because obviously I know my way around the software, but I can't produce as fast as a producer can, or to the level that my producers can right now one day, you know?
Yeah.
So it can be anything from like two people, producer and myself, or producer myself, guitarist, producer myself, 2 writers or something. I just find that when it's too many people, I would say 5 is probably my limit, just because it's a lot of loudness in one room.
Is that like too many cooks kind of thing?
Yeah, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. Okay, that's
good way.
Yeah. Guys, just in case anybody isn't following, go and follow Tequisha on Instagram. It's at Tequisha Music. She's got a new single out, which we'll talk about now. It's called Givin Up. So talk to me about this song. What's it about? Where did it come from? How long did it take you forward? Was it a one-day wonder? What have we got?
So this song was kind of magic for me because a friend of mine called Moses, who's a really, really amazing bass player, he's also a musician as well, in his own right. He said to me, okay, I've got these 2 guys, Gaston and Adam. They're a group called Pet Navire. We're going to do a session. Can you come up to London tomorrow? And I was like, short notice, but yeah, I can come up to London. Let's do it. So I get to London on the train, and I end up waiting for 2 hours for him. He's 2 hours late in a coffee shop. I have no idea where I am, no idea what I'm doing. And they were only there for a day. Like, they were only in London for a day. They were going to fly out. They had to leave. I think it was at like 5:30. So by now it's like 12:30, nearly 1. And I was texting like, Moses, come on, the session, like, we're not going to get anything done, da-da-da. And when I was sat in that cafe, I'd just come out of kind of a situation with someone, as you do, you know, and it just kind of, I was in a place where I was like, I'm just done. I'm so done with this, you know. I can't deal with this anymore, and I want nothing to do with it ever again in my life. And I just came up, I don't know what happened, but I was sat in this cafe and I was like, started singing the Giving Up. I'm just giving up on love. I'm giving up on us. And I was like, oh my God, this could be a song. So I recorded it. People probably thought I was crazy, but I don't care. And
hang on. You sat in a cafe.
I was in a cafe and I was like,
okay, that's amazing.
I just had this idea and I was like, okay, I have to record this now. I do this all the time at the gym. When I'm walking down the street, people probably think I'm a lunatic.
I can see why they would.
Yeah. I was like, you know, do it for the music.
Yes.
So I recorded it, had some weird looks, but we dealt with it.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, you know, these kind of chords would fit the song, wrote them down on my phone. He turns up, we go to the session, and I'm like, right, it's nice to meet you, but we have 4 hours to do this song, so let's just get going. Play me some of your tracks, I'll play you some of mine, and we'll just vibe all together and see what happens. So I show them the chords, they like the chords, they make some adjustments. I sing the top line idea that I had, we kind of went with that. And then Micaiah, oh my God, he's incredible. He's one of my producers as well. He's such a talented musician. He plays everything. He plays Ronnie Scott's in London, which is this crazy jazz bar all the time. You can give him like 2 notes and he'll make he made a song from tattoo sounds. This is how crazy he is. He affected them and made a song.
Shout out to you, sir. That's
anyway, sorry, I'm taking so long. He comes in and he plays this riff on guitar. And the whole room, we just stopped. We were like, that is going on the song. And that's the beginning of the song. And then it just took off from there. And we made the song in 3-4 hours, I think.
Wow. So you had nothing to be worried about.
That was the fastest that's ever happened. It's not always like that at all. But this time we just kind of made magic. And I feel like that's why it might be doing as well as it is right now, because it was so raw and so authentic and so like in your feels in the moment. I really hope people can hear that and they feel it too.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they do. It's a very good song, and that's coming from me.
Thank you.
I'm not musically, I don't understand a lot of music. It's good, I promise you. Just looking at some comments.
Oh, Mikai's here. He's on the, and Luke. Hi, Luke. And Matt.
There
Hi,
you go. Hey,
Matt.
guys. Hey, Mel. Yeah, Sophie, I think
And
we've
Lynn.
got some links in the, I couldn't share the link because I didn't have the full thing, but I'll put it in the show notes and I'll put it on my Instagram and Facebook afterwards, so you can all go and check it out. But it's on YouTube as well. I think you can just Google it and it will come up, right? That's
if you
the
can spell
easiest
my
thing.
name as well.
Yeah. It's easy to spell. Everyone,
I mean,
YouTube Tequisha, it'll come up. Tequisha Givin Up, you'll find it. And me, Claudia, I'm not going to Google you. That would be weird.
Is that what she said?
No, that's not.
Mum, this is my. I'm kidding.
Look, you've just thrown me, Claude. Okay. Where were we going with that? Oh, they're still coming in.
Oh, she's just commented. That's how she's. Okay. Funny story. I'm named after a cocktail.
This is great. Go on.
Tequila Sunrise, because I'm like, she said, you're like a cocktail of places. Your dad's French Algerian. I'm Indian Spanish. So you're Tequila Sunrise, Tequisha. And I was like, okay, growing up, I got the whole Takeshi's Castle, Tequisha, Tequestra, Bonquisha a couple times as well, which
that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. But yeah, she said you're named after a cocktail. And I was playing a festival once. It was my first festival. I actually got that gig through uni. Yeah. And there was a forest. It was in a forest. And there were like 400 people there. And I said on the mic, it was silent because it was this like nice setting. And I said, oh, my name's Tequisha. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, if you can spell my name. And my mum stands up in the middle of this crowd of 400 people. And she yells to everyone, it's Tequila with a shot, to everyone in this crowd. And I just stood on the stage and I was like, thank you, Mum. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I did get some followers from it though, but yeah.
There you go. So, okay, that's how we'll do it. It's Tequila with a shot.
There you go.
Can't really go wrong. Good point though. Gigs and playing like live events and stuff. How did you get your first one? Was it through uni? And how does that process go? Do you get nervous? How many have you done? How's that vibe?
So I think the first gigs I ever did, which is kind of like any musician, is open mics. So when I was at uni, I would go to kind of pubs on Saturdays or Sundays and speak to promoters and play kind of gigs like that. And then I started supporting small kind of bands around Brighton. That was when I got my band together, guitarist, keyboard, drums, bass. I went to uni with all the guys. There's Cam, Freddie, Ali, and myself now in the band. And we played together around Brighton. And then when I moved to London, we started doing shows in London when I kind of met other artists and they needed support acts. Sometimes they would put me on if I was lucky and things like that. And then when I met Moses, the bass player I was referring to earlier, he's one of my biggest supporters, I think. And he put me, this is crazy for me, it was a dream. He put me on Ronnie Scott's for headlining the Valentine's Day show, the midnight show. And that for me, that's like where Amy Winehouse has played, all these crazy names. And to be on the same stage that they've been on, I think that's my biggest highlight so far. I also got to play at Ministry of Sound, a private gig, where my parents actually met because my dad was DJing, which sounds really creepy, but it's not as creepy as it sounds. So yeah, I started gigging. And then obviously this year I was supposed to do a lot more gigs. I was actually supposed to be gigging now around London. At COVID, so bigger things to worry about right now.
Yes. No, that's fair. That's kind of cool. And that's just proof that, guys, we do have a future star in our midst. So just remember this.
Thank you.
COVID, good point. How has that affected things? So obviously you can't gig.
Yeah.
But where does that kind of leave you with things? Have you put things on hold? I guess you released your song during it as well. So how was that whole process?
So I was actually meant to release one of my own songs before Givin Up came out. Surprise, everyone. But that obviously did not happen. And I think when Givin Up came out, it came to a point where I could wait. I have my project coming out this year. So it got to a point where I could wait for COVID to kind of clear up a little bit and let it settle and then release something, or still just go for it. And I've decided to still just go for it. So my next release is in July.
Is that an exclusive?
That's an exclusive.
There
you go. So yeah, next release is in July, and it's actually going to be the first single, my debut single. It's my first single solo, and not a collab, anything, just my music. So
how exciting!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
your
you.
album's been titled by Luke, Tequila with a Shah.
Right.
Just in case you needed inspiration.
Title. There you go. Thank you,
there
Luke.
you go. Okay, cool. Is there anything that I've not touched on that you kind of want to get out as a message, or we haven't talked about, or
I don't know. There was one topic I wanted to touch on.
Yeah.
It's a bit controversial, but I think it's something important to talk about. If this is kind of advice for people who are trying to get into the same thing.
Yes, absolutely.
It's particularly for females. So obviously the music industry can feel like a very male dominated industry, if that's, I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but at times it can feel like there's this, perception of females in the industry, all we do is sing, or we sing a top line, or we write some lyrics and we're songwriters, and that's not the case at all. I just wanted to say to any young girls, any young females listening, that like there's so much more to it than that. You can learn how to produce, you can learn how to mix, you can learn the business side of things, you can go into music law, you can learn all of these things, and the more you learn, the more I think it will put you in a good standing when it comes to doing what you need to do. So I just wanted to say that there's so much more to it than just singing and writing songs. There's a whole technicality to it, and there's a whole skill side to it that people forget about. And just because you're a girl don't mean that you can't do those things, or you won't be as good, because trust me, you will, and sometimes you'll be better than the boys, and that's fine.
I love it. Thank you for that. I think that's what a lot of people need to hear, on both sides, men and women, to be honest. Okay, so now is the time, guys, if you have any questions, to drop them into the comments, or if you just want to say hi, drop them down there, and I think we can both see them, can't we? So I'm not going to miss anything. Awesome. Okay, cool. I think I'm going to move on to, I think we should do some rapid fire questions.
Oh my goodness.
I'm quite excited. Just making sure I haven't missed anything, because this is my favorite part. It's not as fun as it should be. It is not Vogue's 73 questions, unfortunately. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Remember, it's a rapid fire. Last week was not so rapid. Hang on, I'm just gonna. Oh, your mum's telling you how proud she is of you.
Oh, I love you, Mum. I also have to say, my dad as well. Thank you so much to I call him Papa because he's French. For encouraging me with everything just as much as Mum has. So, there you
go. It's nice when a family gets along.
Yeah, it's good.
Let's put this up. This way. There you go. Leave that there. All right, cool. Are we ready?
Oh, I think so. Oh my God.
Okay. What's the first word that comes to your head right now?
Halo.
Favorite pizza topping?
Margarita cheese.
Yes. Boring. If you could have one not boring, amazing, simple things. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
To fly.
What TV show are you binge watching right now?
Outer Banks.
Oh, okay. Favorite board game?
Monopoly.
One person, dead or alive, you'd like to have dinner with?
Gandhi.
Top thing on your bucket list?
Oh my God.
You can pass.
Pass.
If you could travel back or forward in time to any period, what period would you go to?
1920s.
Interesting. I'll come back to that one. One thing you're grateful for?
Family and friends.
All right. Morning or an evening person?
Morning.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
iOS or Android?
iOS.
Excellent. Texting or talking?
Talking.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
TV or book?
TV. So bad.
I get it. Winter or summer?
Summer.
Pen or pencil?
Pen.
Passenger or driver?
Passenger.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cooking or baking?
Cooking.
You passed. Look, see, that wasn't so bad.
Oh, that's all right. Thank you. I thought they were nice questions.
I wasn't going to be mean. We just want to get to know you a little bit better.
Why don't I have a bucket list though? That's my question now. What's wrong with me?
So I literally wrote mine out yesterday.
Okay.
I had a couple of things in my head that were floating around, and for some reason I don't know what I was doing. I was like, I'm gonna write a bucket list, and I just kind of went for it. I've got about 30 random things on there.
I need to do that actually.
That's it.
Such a cool idea.
There you go. That's what I'm here for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's quite cool. And then you're kind of thinking, oh, I'm going to start ticking these off, and you actually start doing some things.
Yeah, I need to do that. I might have to start with kind of smaller things first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say go to
work my way
the
up.
moon. Yeah.
One day.
Yeah. Yes, one day. There you go. I think we made it to the end, guys. That wasn't so scary.
Yeah.
I had a great time. Thank you for everybody who turned up. Look, we've had the best viewing ever.
Oh, thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you. No, we have a question. We have a question. Do you have a vision or a goal board?
I do, and I can show you it if you'd like.
Do it.
Okay. Where did I? Oh, it's right here.
I love that. Also, I love your keyboard in the background.
Oh, thank you.
That's I love. Yeah, that's cool.
Please don't judge me.
No judging. I'm just gonna make you big so people.
I'm just gonna see if there's anything.
I hope I don't cut you off.
Okay, there's one about dancing, but I'm going to remove that because that's just not, you can't see that because I can't.
Is that because your mum's a better dancer?
I mean, she's a great dancer, and I obviously did not inherit that from her. So, okay, so this is my mood board. So I saw this on, what is it called? What The Secret, was it that?
Yes,
about manifesting.
Yes,
so
yes.
It has on here just things like to save money, sign a deal.
I can help you with that.
With signing a deal, though,
yeah,
I'm not talking about a label. I would prefer to do distribution because I feel like labels can be quite tricky. So
expand on that.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, there's kind of when you're outside of the industry, everyone thinks, you sign a record deal or you sign to a label and then you are sorted. But I think a lot of artists that sign with labels get dropped and they're not treated in the best way. Sure. So I made the decision to try and stay independent for as long as possible, just so that
makes sense.
I have longevity for my career, and I'm relying on for myself. Obviously I have my team and things like that, but we kind of do everything ourselves. So you trust everyone, you work with everyone, and everyone is working. They're not on a payroll. They're kind of working towards your dream because it will give them their dream as well,
Yes. Makes a lot of sense. Wise. Very
so
wise.
These are all kind of ideas. And then I have here, oh goodness, this side is release my EP, and that's actually giving everything away, and 2 singles. But that's body and fitness of dreams. I think everyone's goal right now is to stay fit during COVID. Keep in touch with my network and my family always. Increasing my followings on my profile so I can spread my music more. Not that it's the most important thing. And then down here, I just have book festivals, find a booking agent that I work well with. Make sure my band is ready to go at any point. It could be 2 a.m. and we have a gig and I'm like, we need to be knowing these songs, you know. Book a support slot for an artist. And then on this side is the just better at French, because I currently suck and my family are always giving out to me for that. Better at piano, better at Logic, which is the music software I prefer.
Okay.
And better with my business, which is going well so far, but could be improved.
Love it. I love that you have a vision board, and B, how nice and neat it is. It makes me very, very happy.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have another question. Who are your dream collabs?
Chris Martin, as I said, so Coldplay. Also, I can't see you anymore.
No, I put myself down because I thought people should focus on you.
Chris Martin.
That's who they're really here for.
No. Calvin Harris, I think, would be really cool. And Elena Tomra, I don't even know if I say her name right. I'm really sorry. She's probably not going to see me on this anyway.
No, that's highly
unlikely. But no, because I'm me. But Elena Tomra from the band Daughter, I think she'd be my absolute dream to write with.
Very cool. And then, yes, is there an artist who inspires you the most, or a favorite artist?
I think someone who's always inspired me is Aurora. Not a lot of people know her, but she kind of has done what I'm trying to do, I think. So she is an artist. I think she's in Norway. I'm not sure. It's somewhere beautiful over there. And she kind of has her bubble of producers that she works with that know her sound, that she always goes to work on her music with, and she just does what she loves unapologetically. She puts out whatever she feels, and she has a loyal fan base because she's always been true to her sound and spreads the message that she's chosen to spread, you know?
I like it. Very nice. I think, no, we have another question. I love this.
Okay.
Do you have any advice for writing techniques?
Be brutal, honestly. So I think if you're writing with someone, honesty is the best policy always. If you don't like something, you have to be confident with that person enough to say, I don't like this, let's change it, or we can do better. I think when it comes to music, you need to be brutal in the sense that you need to be honest. You're brutal with yourself because you're being honest, you're being vulnerable, you're opening up to kind of the world about something, but you always need to push yourself, you know. Can I say this in a way that represents me more or pushes how I feel to the audience more? I think be brutal, be honest, and yeah, I think those two.
I like it.
They're not really techniques, but I mean, I think I'm just brutally honest with things, so...
But yeah, that's good advice, because I guess the last thing you want to do is to go in and kind of just yes something that isn't what you feel, and then it's out there like, at all what I wanted, and then you're just kind of not happy with things. So
exactly, you have to believe in. You can have an opinion, not too opinionated, obviously, like in a rude way, but believe in your opinion and believe in your writing.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. Brilliant. I think we are,
in the clear.
We're in the clear. Yeah, you have survived. Okay, awesome. Guys, for everybody who tuned in, thank you so much. Thank you for your questions and comments. Thank you, Tequisha, obviously.
No, thank you for having me, honestly.
No, thank you for being a wonderful guest. Can't close out without saying thank you to Claude, obviously.
Thanks, Mum.
There you go. Guys, okay, don't forget to go and follow Tequisha on Instagram. It's rolling across the bottom, but it's Tequisha Music, tequila with a Shah. You'll be able to find her. There'll be links to her music in there as well, but obviously YouTube, and I will put the links up for everything. This is going to be, it'll be on Facebook, the recording, and on Twitter, and I'll upload to YouTube as well. So you'll be able to find everything at Project Life Admin, whether that's Instagram or YouTube, so you can watch the recording, you can share it, please share it. as much as
Please
you can.
follow at Project Live Admin as well.
Thank you very much.
All right.
But yes, as much support as possible. And you heard it here first. There's all sorts of exclusives tonight. So stay tuned and watch this space. There's a lot coming out. So we'll be back next week. Same time, same place with somebody else. And I will obviously update you on that during the week. But otherwise, it's just time to say thank you to everybody.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. Bye.